It's a blessing to welcome on one of the top dual sport athletes in the entire country right now. He's a Michigan State commit and one of the top players in both sports heading out to Michigan State. Keon Coleman, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. And you?
Pretty good. Let's just kind of get into it because you made your announcement a couple weeks ago now. You're going to Michigan State. Take us through how you're feeling right now.
I'm ready to get up behind it. So I'm ready to see the campus and stuff. The things we couldn't do when Corona did start kind of
Mhm.
took away all my visits.
You are going to be a dual sport athlete, so you're going to be playing both football and basketball. That's what you've been doing through high school as well. So kind of take us through how you're going to transition to the college level and how excited you are to wear that green for both teams.
I'm very excited. I feel like I could contribute to the basketball team just as well as the football team and help bring a national championship to East Lansing.
Well, we're going to get more into Michigan State in a little bit, but right now you're in this basketball season and you've had many huge games so far this year. We're talking about 60-point games, nearly quadruple doubles. Take us through this basketball season and really how much you've enjoyed it.
It's my last one. I
Mhm.
have to soak it all in and just enjoy it and make the best out of it. Got to great state championship.
You brought in many accolades so far. One that's obviously huge for anyone that plays any sport is you become the all-time leading scorer in school history. Take us through what that night was like and getting that award.
But you see, I didn't even really know until Sanity gave it to me. But I didn't know. I was just trying to, what I'm saying, I'm trying to win. I would think about the points. Then on Sanity, he told me that I was above it. I was like, it kind of shocked me, but I was like, I was not expecting it, but at the same time, I felt I was gonna break it eventually. I didn't know when though, but I guess it happened.
Now, did you know of the record? Obviously, going to the school, were you aware of what the number was prior to breaking the record?
Yeah, yeah, it's in the gym. It's on the basketball on the wall.
And when you're able to come out there now and you know that your name's going to be in school history forever, not just being an elite recruit, but you've really made a mark in the school history now, what's going to be like coming back to the school and even when you're in college, but also 10, 15 years down the road, knowing that you had this big of an impact in your community and your school?
It's what you can dream of. It's the only thing as a kid you like, I want to leave a mark somewhere. And high school is where you can do that at. It
Mhm.
won't ever fade away.
Absolutely. Well, as we said, but you've played in some big time games this year, a 60-point game, which it doesn't really matter where you're playing, who you're playing against. To get 60 points is really hard to get. What was that night like, and how are you able to go out there and drop that?
I had a great pregame workout. I'm gonna say that. Everything was falling.
When you get in that mode, obviously you shoot a lot of shots to be able to get to that point, but did you just feel it coming? Did you know that it was going to have that big time game, or did you just keep going through the course of the game and shots just kept dropping?
Yeah, it was just like I let the game come to me. Started off with a layup, you know what I'm saying, and it just took off. Like I couldn't miss. Everything I put up was going in.
Were you aware that you broke the 60-point margin, or did you kind of get surprised when they announced that? Like, how did you learn you
Yeah,
got three?
you can hit a crowd. My family, my brothers and stuff. They was at like every single point. So I was like, well, the game was still going on. I didn't even play the last 4 minutes. It took us off. But I was like, well, that's a lot of points. I was just like, it was a tight game. So I was like, I don't care how many I have, we got to win. Like if I have to score 100, I'm gonna get the win.
You also nearly had a quadruple double, 40 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, 8 steals in that game. That's something that's really hard to get as well. But take us through that because that shows that you're an all around player. You can bring it on all facets of the game. How are you able to put together such a well rounded game?
Well, it's like that every game. My teammates, we build their confidence, and we go out there and compete. We get out there, and you know what I'm saying, we play as a team. The games, we all just share the ball. If a man in front of you, you give it up. So when I'm driving, I know everybody picking up on me. They got two people, three people. Somebody open, pass the ball. Just believe my player's gonna hit the shot. You gotta crash the boys, and you gotta get it done on the defensive end. You gotta set the tone on defense. They see me going hard on defense, the rest of the team follow pursuit, and then hey, we stop.
And we know this was an ideal year. A lot of people are having questions if there will be a basketball season, what's going to look like because of COVID. At the end of the day, you guys have also been able to go through the season so far. How are you guys adjusting the COVID protocols, and what was it just like getting back on the court and being able to have a season?
It felt good. I'm appreciative of it. I wouldn't worry about the fans a bit. As long as we could play on the court, now go straight. I didn't really need fans. Give me the ball, give us the ball, and let my team go out and compete. That's all I can ask for.
As for this year on the field, you guys also had a pretty solid season, 10-2. You were playing 5 games. Had a pretty space year as well, though. Kind of take us through the football season.
Football season was fun, but
Mhm.
the games, they weren't fun. Putting all those people, man, that was not fun at all. And then I got hurt for the the fourth game.
Mhm.
Yeah, I missed most of the season. But I mean, I did whatever I had to do to get back for the last game, the playoff game. Wasn't nowhere near 100%, but I still had to go out there and play. It was most likely it was my last game. Had to go give it all, try to get to the next round of the playoffs.
A lot of people look at you. We know you're a top-ranked football recruit. We know you're Michigan State, but a lot of people still are saying, "Well, you put in big basketball numbers," but not all people recognize that you truly are a legit basketball player. I mean, someone that's going to go into Michigan State, help Tommy as a win games throughout your career there. So, what's kind of your message to them?
Like I tell them, is just watch,
Mm-hmm.
just watch. That's all I can tell you. Because I mean, I'm doing everything night in, night out on a day-to-day basis. If you still have doubts in me, and that's kind of on you, you just gonna have to see what I'm gonna do at the next level.
Without doubt. Well, we know this isn't a typical thing. We know just for one guy to make a Division One, any sport is an incredible accolade. But to do it in 2 sports, how have you been able to manage basketball and football, practicing and working on your craft in both sports?
I mean, it ain't really nothing new. It's second nature. I've been doing it since I was 7 years old. So it's like eating cereal every morning. To be honest,
When you're going through this recruiting process, and we're gonna touch up on that a little bit more in a second, but were you always saying that you wanted to play basketball and football? So if a school only offered you in football, was that kind of out of that equation?
I mean, at the same time, a lot of big schools wanted me to play just basketball, but I mean, I had to get the offers from the football program too. So it's kind of like, I mean, you want me, you make that happen. So
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of came down to.
So what was the main sport you really were prioritizing? Was it football? Is that the main one you wanted to go for?
I mean, nah, not really. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I started playing basketball before I did start playing football, but I mean, they both just kind of, whatever one needed. I take either one. It's both my dreams.
You got headed in your recruiting process a little bit early. You made a commitment to Kansas originally. Take us through what went into that original decision. Why was KU the first school you wanted to go to?
Uh, they gave me everything I could dream of, everything I wanted in the process. But when I did decommit, I felt like I got tired of the process. I was tired of the process at that time, and I just messed around, committed somewhere, and I didn't really, because I mean, I was taking it that serious, but I just ended up getting tired of everybody hitting my phones up. I'm like, that's just how it have to be. It's a big decision. So then
Mm.
I ended up decommitting and had to make a better choice. Always had to make up and go my first mind, which was Michigan State.
I believe that after you commit to KU, Michigan State reached out to you. They talked to you and said, "Is it okay if we still keep recruiting you?" They kind of kept with you throughout the next year leading up to you obviously going there. Is that true? And how did that relationship grow from committing to KU to ultimately switching over to Michigan State?
That was a big deal breaker because when I did commit to Kansas, a lot of schools did fall back and they were on me like I committed to their school. They just didn't stop and the relationship just kept growing.
There's a lot of hype about Mel Tucker. We're excited to see what he can accomplish and get done in the future. But we know still he's only his first recruiting class right now at Michigan State. So how are you able to kind of trust him and that this is the right place for you?
Well, I mean, he was hard. I was his big time receiver. He was recruiting. The only one he took in 2021. So I mean, I feel like I got to come in there and be a big piece in the offense.
Now, take us through his personality. As I said, he looks like a great coach. He's going to grab a bright future, but what's he just like on and off the field? What's you just like talking to him?
Funny, cool guy. Is whatever you think about him, that's pretty much what he is. Like he real cool. He ain't gonna feed you no BS on the recruitment process. He's gonna keep it real with you. He's real cool to talk to.
How about Coach Hawkins? He's going to be your wide receiver coach. What's he like?
That's my dog, bro. He love football. He love football. He a family man. He could cook a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He like to whip it up a little bit. He like to have fun.
He also has experience playing the game that you're playing right now. He really lit up the dream that you ultimately want to do, playing professionally. How impactful was that for you, just having a guy you kind of look up to as a mentor to kind of help create the footsteps and the pathway for you to go to the NFL eventually?
I mean, it helped a lot. Somebody that been where I want to go. It helps me believe them that they can get me where they once were. And he did it at each level and succeeded at it. So, I mean, I hope he can get me that too.
But talking to the coaching staff, how do they see you fitting in as a freshman? We know you have a lot of size. That's going to be huge. Your speed, you're quick. How do you see you fitting into the offense in your freshman campaign?
Just come in, get these 15, 10 catches a game, get some good targets and score the ball. Be a big impact early on.
Now, throughout the process, we know that you had a top nine. You kept kind of switching up who was in that final group for you. Ultimately, I know you kept saying your second option. They were right there with Michigan State up to the end. What was their push, and how close were you ever to committing to Tulane?
I kind of was committed to Tulane for like 2 weeks to signing day, and then the night before signing day, like 3 in the morning, I made my decision. I was going to Michigan State.
What led to that switch? Was it another talk with the coach? Was it kind of his family? Just what ultimately led to the switch?
Well, it was just better opportunity for me in Michigan than it would be in New Orleans. Honestly, well, I feel like.
And that would have been a pretty big attraction. You would have been staying real close to home, having kind of that family feel. Was that something that was really attractive to you?
Nah, not really. I mean, I didn't really want to stay in the state. I want to go live out the state and grow as a person by myself.
You also had a few HBCU schools. Obviously, they didn't last the very ending group for you, but they were in the mix. How much of an impact and pull was that possibly going to a Grambling type of school or Jackson State University? How kind of attracting to you?
Yeah, Grambling was making a pretty big push. I mean, I was strongly considering them, but I felt like for me to reach my maximum potential, I had to go to the biggest school that wanted me the most, and they gonna maximize my potential and get me to the league.
Now, you will be playing the Big Ten. That's one of the best, if not the best football conferences you could possibly play in. Going up against Michigan one night. You got all these big time schools. How excited to be able to be a part of that conference?
I'm very excited. It's a real deal competition out there. Got some of the best DBs in the country go Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Just personally for you right now, what game are you most excited for?
Mm, I say Ohio State or Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ohio State or Michigan. Either one of those games.
You're going to have at least a 3-year career out there. You're going to be able to play the schools at least 3 times out those times out there. What's going to be your win-loss record against them?
I'm going to defeat it.
So
I see we. All right. I'm be real. I see we take one loss. I don't know the who. I see we take one loss in the first year. Because we rebuild. Now I take that one loss, but after that, can't lose no more.
And we discussed that a little bit earlier on, but this will be a little bit of rebuilding process. A lot of young guys coming in that will be returning. Coach Tucker's first recruiting class with you guys. But ultimately, when you look at your sophomore, junior, even possibly senior year, how special can this Michigan State team be?
Very special. With some of the kids we're going to get in the 2022 class, we're going to be on a good road. We're going to be a freight train that's going to be waiting to stop.
Guys love playing with good receivers, and it's going to be a kind of recruiting pitch to a lot of guys. So if you're communicating to a guy in 2022, 2023, and so on, what's your pitch to them? Why is Michigan State where they should be playing the football at?
Sure, it's a rebuilding process. You can possibly play, for a great coach. Our receiver coaches, he done been in the league. We have a great running back coach, a great head coach. So, I mean, it's winning atmosphere of that. So, I mean, if you want to win and go to the next level, come join us.
And as I mentioned, you are a dual sport athlete. So clearly you have talked a lot to Coach Izzo. You've talked a lot to Coach Tucker. How do you plan to work this out, though? We know that it's obviously going to cross over potentially at some points of the year. How do you guys kind of plan to work out this dual sport athlete process?
I mean, pretty much once football season over with, go straight to basketball. Pretty much the only way to resolve that while constantly, staying in the gym during football season, getting up shots and stuff, so you won't be too rusty.
You're going to come in and that won't be the whole off-season program. You're going to go through practices, even get the first half of the year. How do you plan to be able to impact the team immediately as a freshman, kind of coming in mid-season?
Bring my energy, bring my toughness to the team, athleticism, ball handling and shooting the ball, and my will to get better and to be a great teammate.
There's going to be a cool kind of person that's going to be in your life, strength and conditioning coach out there. Coach Lorenzo's also been able to go out there and be a two-sport athlete, one of only 2 guys in Izzo's era. But what has he kind of helped you with? Have you talked to him, and how's he going to kind of help you through maintaining both sports?
Keeping your mental right and keeping your body right to physically compete in both of them.
You're talking about your body. What's it going to change? Will it fluctuate weight-wise that you want to be playing at for football and basketball?
Not really. I mean, I think I'm gonna get to a good solid 210, 215, and still have my same speed, athleticism, because that's a pretty good weight to play at but nobody gonna ever just bully you around on the court. But you're not too big to where you're losing speed and stuff.
No doubt. Well, let's get on to this Michigan State basketball team. You were able to talk to a guy in Coach Izzo that we know is a Hall of Fame coach, one of the best to ever do it. Take us through this, your guys' bond. What's it been like getting to know one of the greats to ever do it?
It's very cool. I mean, it's a great experience. Not many people are gonna get to experience talking to a Hall of Fame coach and going to play for him and being able to get you better in aspects of the game. Like, is a dream come true.
What was that first conversation like from him? Did you call him? Did he call you? Were you shocked? Kind of take us to that first talking conversation with Coach Izzo.
Well, he called me. It was like, I think mid-April, May-ish, and we had a good talk about what I'll be able to contribute to the basketball program, pretty much. And I can play 2 sports over there. Him and Coach Tucker hadn't talked about it and stuff like that.
You are, guys, we mentioned you are a dynamic scorer. You're athletic. You're quick. You're going to get stronger and stronger as you develop into this kind of player. But when you're talking about basketball players, is there a certain, rather be a former Michigan State player, or even NBA player, that you kind of compare yourself to?
I say I compare myself to Zach LaVine.
Mm-hmm. And you go into this Michigan State team, which they're struggling right now. There's a lot of different things with COVID you could use as an excuse, but clearly this is not a typical Coach Izzo team. So how do you guys plan to go out there next year and have a more typical Michigan State team, a contending team next year?
We'll come in and compete, get each other better in each practice and just carry that on to the game and get some big wins.
The 2021 class is looking pretty solid right now. You guys have a lot of big-time guys, headed by a couple guys staying home, Jade Akins, Pierre Brooks. Have you talked to those guys yet?
I talked to Jaden Akins a few times. He cool. We're going to make some big things happen up there.
We know there's a couple of other things that have happened recently. Knox decided to decommit from 2022. But overall, when you get out there too, you're going to have a recruiting pitch for guys in 2022 that you're going to try recruiting as well. What's your pitch about guys that want to play basketball? Why is Coach Izzo Michigan State the right school for them?
It's even on his down years, he still find ways to develop players and get them to the league, honestly.
Without a doubt. And well, a few more things before I let you go. One of which is you have a couple things in your bio. One thing, you talk about D&D. Take us through what that means.
Do not disturb. Nobody can disturb what's going on. My path, to where I'm going. My mental, everything is all me. Nobody from the outside can disturb what's going on inside.
That's a mentality that would be pretty much a lead in anything you have to have. But was that kind of self-instilled? Did someone kind of mentor and help you and kind of get that mentality, or how did that mentality first start for you?
I see that's self-instilled. That's self-instilled in myself because a lot of things happen in my city that's trying to disturb what's going on in my circle. I can't let that get to me.
Another thing you have pinned in your Twitter is the thing about your teaching. We've heard the story a couple of different guys before. I've talked about that. Kind of take us through that story and when that happened. Just kind of take us through that.
It was my sophomore year. It was during football season. And I don't remember exactly what we were doing in class, but I guess she ain't think I was taking notes or something like that. And she was like, "That's why you're not going to be successful." And looked at it, but this, the meanest look in the world. And 10 minutes later, coach from Northwestern State came put me out of class, and I was just looking at it like, all right. And I got my first offer that summer, and my first basketball from McNeese State that summer. Then I had to take our class the next year after that.
And that's something that I know she probably isn't the only doubter you've had before, but you have a lot of people trying to target you. They don't want you to be successful. How have you been able to push through that? And what's like kind of looking back at them and being able to say that you have made it through that and you've been successful so far?
D&D. You ain't going to disturb nothing.
Without that. One other thing you have in your bio is long socks. Take us through what that means.
It's like, I call it a football swag, back in the days, with them high socks. But the high socks for me is like I feel comfortable. In football season, I wear a lot of high things to your knees, and it make me feel a certain way of comfortability. So I think it's a style now. I just wear it.
No doubt, man. Well, I was wrapping up the interview discussing your legacy, and I think that's something that all guys want to create for themselves. So we know now you're gonna be at Michigan State. You're playing 2 sports. You want to have a pro career in one of them. Take us through what you want to remember for, though. When you step away from athletics, football, and basketball, what do you ultimately want to be remembered for?
Anything is possible. That your dreams can come true at the next level. If you want to do something, you can go do it, no matter what it is.
Absolutely. And I know you're also a believer, Kind of discuss your faith a little bit and how God's helped get you to the point you're at today.
You see, my mom and my grandmother instilled that early that no matter what it be, if you got God, God gonna lead you through whatever it is in life.
Amen, man. Well, I definitely appreciate taking time to come on today, and I look forward to seeing what God got next for you, man.
Thank
Well, Charles, welcome on, man. God bless.
you. You too.